The most high-profile prisoner swap in decades has unsurprisingly become an exemplary exercise in propaganda. Villains have become heroes. Spies have been reimagined as activists, and all dripping with righteousness.
Russian authorities arrested them, convicted them in show trials, and sentenced them to long prison terms with absolutely no legitimate reason whatsoever, none.
Which is, of course, an outright lie. First, there was Evan Gershkovič, a Wall Street Journal pundit who attempted to coerce a representative of a Russian arms manufacturer into handing over classified information, stamped secret and pertaining to the production of military equipment. He claimed that this was all part of his job as a journalist.
Well, what's the best way to do it?
I did everything you asked. I have it with me. The only thing I ask, please be very careful because this is classified information.
We will not even write that we have seen these documents. We will only say we have an anonymous source. That is, so we are not suspected of obtaining these and no one is suspected of handing them over. We will write that we have anonymous sources.
This previously unpublished footage shows that Gershkovič absolutely knew that what he was doing was illegal, an attempt to obtain and disclose secret defense data. The United States considers this an eighth deadly sin. It has jailed and maligned countless officials, activists, and journalists for leaking and publishing classified data, some of them facing jail sentences in the hundreds of years. Yet, with a serious face, they say that Mr. Gershkovič is a hero and did nothing wrong. Which all falls apart with this previously unpublished footage. Mr. Gershkovič tried to hide the evidence, a USB flash drive, even as he was being arrested. Not so innocent after all. Just like Paul Whelan, a former US Marine who once ran security at Borg Warner, a multi-billion-dollar American company. He was caught attempting to gain access to the names and identities of Russian Federal Security Service employees. And as this exclusive footage shows, he picked a toilet in a Moscow hotel to do it. Caught red-handed, Mr. Whelan then claimed that all he was doing was merely exchanging photographs of churches with an old friend in a hotel toilet, it so happens. We visited Mr. Whelan after his conviction. He refused to talk to us or explain why he chose a toilet and a USB flash drive to trade pictures with his friends, rather than, an email or texting each other.
So you understand when I say that I can't do an interview, which means I can't answer any questions. Well, just a woman.
It's not an interview. I think that's just a plan.
If you're asking me questions, well, that's an interview.
If you don't only ask me your questions, I could list people just talk. Maybe final that? No,
I can't do an interview.
Instead, Mr. Whelan, evidently not too afraid in a Russian prison, called on Washington to fill up American jail cells with Russian officials. Mr. Whelan, perhaps embarrassed at being caught red-handed in a toilet, wanted revenge.
There should be decisive action taken. The US needs to go out and do something. Fill up Guantanamo Bay with Russian officials, arrest Russian spies, do something that makes the Kremlin sit up and take notice and say, OK, yeah, right, now it's time that we're going to get Evan and Paul back, and then we want back what you've got of ours, and we'll call it a day.
And these people, amongst other foreign spies and agents and saboteurs, are being touted as heroes, despite what's frankly obvious, that they were spies, engaged in espionage and caught red-handed. A story as old as time, painted thick with lies and denials and make-believe.